Welcome to Sacred Spaces Advanced School of Ancestral Communication. I am Queen Carlenia Springer, and it's an honor to be able to come and to share with you just for about 10 minutes my Afro-Rakani and Afro-Right Kite African Black family. Regardless of where we exist in the world, we share a common identity. Regardless of our different ethnicities, we share a common identity rooted in Mother and Father God. And before the invasions, before colonization, before takeover by foreign peoples, we understood that Mother and Father God was the root, the foundation of who we are and everything in creation. And it was and it still is where we find our balance in this world. When we talk about navigating through this world, we are the mothers and fathers of humanity. And so there is a unique position that we hold as the mothers and fathers of humanity. We are not like everyone else. And so when we begin to operate in the manner of other people, we run into walls. I want to share with you a decision making process based on the Adinkra symbol called Unyansapo. And this is what Unyansapo looks like. And translated, that's an Akan word. And so translated, Unyansapo is actually saying wisdom knot. This is a knot that is so intricately tied that only the wise can untie this knot. And so it's speaking to us as a people and as individuals. There's situations that we face that are very complicated. It takes a wise person to have the patience to navigate all the different little intricacies within this situation, to be able to see the interlinkages between these tightly these tightly woven knots and the entire picture. What are we dealing with? Right? So anytime we as Afro-Rakani and Afro-Right Kite people go to make a decision, when we begin with our identity, then we understand that as the mothers and fathers of humanity, we carry the spirit of the creator and the creatress. We carry the divine mind, a portion of the divine mind of Mother and Father God. This is where we find our grounding. This is where we find our root. This is where we find our balance. And when we walk with the mind of Mother and Father God, we have access to that divine mind. It's what we call soul. When we have access to that, there is nothing in creation that is hidden from us. If we have the patience to take the time to sit and listen, to create a sacred space, whether in our home or in nature, to go out and to be able to listen, to be able to still the noise so that we can hear the instructions that we're being given, because we're always being guided by the Abosom or the Orisha who governs our soul and that was assigned to us by Mother and Father God. We are also given our honored ancestors and ancestresses who have lived according to ancestral protocol and also are assigned to us by Mother, Father, God to help us navigate this life. So when we have a decision that may be a little challenging, it's good to go through this process. First, remembering who we are as the offspring of the Creator and the Creatress, walking with their mind, with their consciousness. Then we need to focus on the situation. What is the situation, and how does it relate to us as offspring of the Creator and the Creatress? You see, we understand that we come into this world as a created entity with a very specific function. And as a collective, the different functions that we have operate as the different organs in our body. They have different functions, but they operate in harmony. So when we understand who we are and the decision that we need to make based on who we are and the situation that we're facing, then it's time for us to act, to make the decision, to decide ultimately, okay, this is the right thing to do based on the knowledge that we have. Or it may not be the right thing to do, and so we may stop and turn in a different direction. Once we understand that this is the direction we want to move in, then we act. We make the decision. After we make the decision, we understand that any decision that we make, it has their requirements, their spiritual requirements and their physical requirements. We want to make sure that we have what we need physically and that we have what we need spiritually. So spiritually, we're given everything that we need. But have we taken the time to go into that quiet place, to be in communication with the Abosom, with the Orisha, with Mother and Father God and God's system, which guides us and helps us to navigate through this life when our physical eyes are showing us one thing, but we know we're supposed to be moving in a certain direction. And what we're seeing looks as if it's opposite to the direction that we're supposed to move in. So we want to make sure that we take the time and we invest time in ourselves so that we have we have access to the spiritual resources that we need in order to sustain us once we have made the decision. And we also want to take into consideration what is required physically of us. So we're not walking blindly into a situation hoping and wishing that certain things turn out instead of sitting there and thinking through the process and looking and assessing what we need and what actions do we have to take in order to get what we need for this decision, for us to be able to see the decision all the way through. Once we have determined what the requirements are, then we understand that any decision that we make will be challenged. And and so we want to make sure that we are not moved by the challenges that come. When we review the steps that we have taken up until this point, we understand that, we have intelligently assessed the situation. We have taken assessment of what we need to do spiritually. We have taken an assessment of what we need to do physically. And so our decision was valid. So when psychological challenges come, when people step in who doubt us, when self doubt steps in, when spiritual challenges come, we're not moved and we're not shaken to the point where we want to abort the process. We're talking about wisdom and intelligent decision making, making an intelligent decision, meaning that we're using our throne, we're using our minds, and recognizing that we are spirit first, and then we operate in the physical realm, and the spirit realm is the root of this realm. And so when we are going to our altar, when we're going into our sacred space, what we're doing is that we're protecting our mind, we're protecting our body, we're protecting ourselves because we are reconnecting with the beings that support divine order within the universe and that are connected to us and speak to us, communicate with us in real time. So once we have taken all of these steps, the final step is that we take ownership of the decision. And so we can attest to the fact that, anybody that comes to challenge this decision in any way, we can explain why we made the decision. And we're solidly standing on that, to say 10 toes down, because we understood that we didn't make this decision alone. We understood that we took into consideration who we are as Afro Rakani and Aphrodite Kaitni people. It means that we are in communication with Mother, Father, God. We are in communication with our own soul. We are in communication with our honored ancestors and ancestresses. We are in communication with the Abosom or the Orisha that governs our soul, that was assigned to us by Mother and Father God, and that has all of the connections that we need. It has all of the instructions that we need. It has everything that we need, including the requisite power that we need to execute our function in creation. And so when we go through this process of Unyansapo, we can say we understand that we use wisdom to make a decision. And again, this is how we are able to navigate. And so there may be many challenges that you may be facing right now. And I would encourage you to go back through this video and write down step by step the things that I shared, because it has practical application. That going into the secret place, that sacred space where you are communing with your own soul, where you're communing with the God of your understanding, we have to start right there, because you know that voice. So, regardless of what background you come from, our roots are the same. And our roots are governed by the ancestral jurisdiction. When we operate outside the ancestral jurisdiction, which is the jurisdiction of Mother and Father God, we fall into a state of disrepair. And that is what has happened to us as a people. We have a responsibility to correct that. No one is coming to save us. Mother, Father, God has given us everything that we need in order to save and protect ourselves, our children, and our community. Ashe.